It's interesting. Things have changed.
All right.
I don't know what happened last time, but all the microphones should be working.
Livingston. What's the
Code.
Just go to me. What's going here?
Bring it up now. Go to meeting is 876-668-069.
Thank you, Lois.
Sure.
Oh, it's you and me, Livingston. Great. And Clarissa. Good. Y'all ready?
Yeah. All right. We're back in open session. It's
Certified, nothing to announce.
as of now, or make motions about. We've already done our special appearance. We are going to do public comment again. Public comment. Public comment.
I'm here, sir.
All right. Anybody on the electronic platforms?
Not yet.
All right, we've got the consent agenda. I have to recuse myself because I'm one of the people requesting something, but we do have a consent agenda, which is the minutes from June 8th of 2021. And then we've got 6 fireworks permits.
So, Mr. Chairman, can we pull B5 out of the consent agenda and we'll vote on that separately?
No, I'm done with
really
it.
do.
I'm on there.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
there. No.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of B5.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve B5 in the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I abstain. Thank you all. Constitutional officer, county departments, committees, and organizations. Roger?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's going on?
We're just working on the, getting this building done down the street. With the architect today and got some, little things, little side notes, go on. And, we're hoping to, probably gonna be after the 1st of July when we move, just so that finance can get all their end of year stuff done, and that building's gonna be complete before we move into it. Not gonna be like the other buildings, we're not in a hurry. The last one we had to move, what we did to get the project going, but this one, we're gonna be completely done, 99% done before we move into it.
How's it look up there?
It's pretty, it's gonna be nice.
Anybody got a question for Roger? Tracy?
So I don't know if Kevin wants to give the update or not for the,
You're welcome.
I'll give the main thing. What we know for sure, they want to be on the agenda again for August 24th session. They're still working on the study. They will want our help in doing, getting the word out to fill out a survey. They want people to do it from their homes so they know who has what type of service. And then they may need help getting easements and that kind of thing. We agree to help do that, so. But another great meeting.
And what was the date of that meeting one more time? Do you want to come to
August 24th.
August? I think.
Yeah, they would like to bring a report to us.
Good.
Is their deadline for the bag grant is 14th of September, so they're pushing it.
But they will be, meeting several times.
Y'all want to invite Firefly back to us on the 24th? You can go ahead. Yeah.
I think we need to do it, because then maybe when it's if there's any sort of agreement they need to get out of, but they do need a resolution. So
We'll have
that,
all that.
yep,
That night.
With John Hill is July, Jacqueline. So, because we already said.
Good. All right. Anything else, Tracy?
Ribbon cutting Sunday at Tastings, 29 Tastings. And that place went really well. We've got, didn't boost it at all, but 11,000 people have viewed it and 100 shares. So the grand opening will be this Saturday.
All right, anybody got any questions for Tracy? John Shearer.
Good evening. All right, so Madison County declared a local state of emergency on March 13th, 2020. That's been a while back. The state has issued multiple COVID-19 executive orders over the past year and a half. Executive Order 51 by the governor is due to expire on June 30th. And the governor said it will not be extended anymore. So I'm suggesting that our local declaration be rescinded at the same time on June 30th. It should have no effect on any cost recovery measures that we can take. And the bottom line is infection rates have come down dramatically. To date, our BDH numbers show 596 folks in Madison contracted the disease over the last year. 22 went to hospital, 14 passed. So to date, 5,799 folks in Madison have been fully vaccinated. The state is reporting a 70% vaccination rate, reaching that goal early in order to reach herd immunity. Our local hotline, the volume in that has gone to less than 1 or 2 calls a day. So that's been a big deal, but it's, say the volume's gone almost to zero. So the bottom line, the past year and a half has been unprecedented and challenging to say the least. But I feel the county has stepped up, caring for its citizens and employees, thanks to the board's support throughout the pandemic. So it's time to get back on track, and if the new strains being reported present future problems, we'll deal with that. But I think it's time that we send a local declaration broadcast now. So I think you got something from you to get prepared with.
All right. Since John already talked about it, if y'all mind talking about the new business right now? I know we're criticizing somebody else, but 2021-16, state of emergency, rescinding it effective June 30th. Do you have any questions, comments, thoughts? Y'all people that know more about it than we do for
I
sure.
just think we've done a good job. It's been a long time coming, but like I said, at this rate, a couple people, there's still being people diagnosed with COVID, but it's to the point where nobody's going in the hospital here lately. So nobody's numbers aren't saying that people are dying from it. So we need to really get back to whatever that.
What y'all want to do here?
ready for a motion.
Yeah, let's do it.
I move to approve resolution number 2121-16.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Can't wait till June 30th this year.
That's it.
Yep. Any questions for John? It's like 4.5% of Madison County's population got COVID. That's right now. Pretty impressive.
That actually is, and like I said, people, you can call it what you want, maybe all the vaccinations help, maybe the naysayers, they didn't help, but the bottom line is that they are, infection rates dropping.
All right. Noah?
Staying busy with calls. Excited that the ambulance shelter, the second one, is now up. So we're moving forward, and yeah, I think they're moving right along. I hope to have full staff by the end of the week if maybe waiting on acceptance. If they do, then we'll be good.
Questions from Noah? Brian Gordon?
Been moving along the radio project. We've hit a speed bump. I won't say a snag. We hit a speed bump on some of the site work up at our northern site, which we anticipated, not to the extent that we got, but we are working through that now. We'll take steps to kind of mediate the site work that they're anticipating and do what we can to cut costs. So what we're looking at now is a dramatic number from what we anticipated. And there are ways around it. There are things we can do to mediate it, and that's what we're going to do. Had a meeting this morning, Motorola, they're going back to figure some things out here. And I'm working with them to do that as well. Next generation 911, still waiting on Motorola to get to our shop to reconfigure our current systems to handle AT&T EZNet. That last call, they're still looking at October 10th to get that in there. Motorola is saying they may go get it sooner, but they have not given us a firm date on that. Still working on the Marcus alert. The CSB is working with us to do a database that will be active by July 1 per code. That's going to cover everybody in our CSB. We're still working to see what that will look like and how it will be transferred to the 911 center in our region. Other than that, we're still full staff right now, one in training, and answer 911 calls.
Livingston.
Lots going on. By the end of the week, we should have the data in the 414 building, have the audio visual in the 414 building, which that pretty much is my biggest milestone at that particular part. Whether we're gonna get in there on the 7th for that meeting, I guess Roger will say no. So we've still got this for a while. And I don't know, Mr. Hobbs, if this is the time to talk about the fiber project to the courtroom. We got it in before you guys. I believe Mr. Hobbs is going to present it. But we basically are going to be moving forward with the fiber to the courthouse across the street and to Clarissa. We're having the new data infrastructure put in there in her office. To add to that, new wireless access points to get rid of those ones that are very vulnerable right now. VPN went in at the new EMS building, the new data infrastructure there for NOAA. They're across the street and on the network now, except for the fax line. But and then we're looking to do it for the firehouse also. Somewhere in the near future, we got to kind of decide what we're going to do about the tower and the radio at the volunteer rescue squad, because that's going away in the fall. The radio's going away in the fall. We'll be completely on a new infrastructure. The ERP system's coming along. It's a bit of a challenge with that. Michelle's got her hands full working with RDA and that sort of stuff that's going on with that. But it's a lot going on, but we're getting a lot done, I think, at this point. Probably forgetting a couple things.
This is about the courthouse. The idea is that adding that element to bars to Church Street, bar to Church Street to 410. This is just
Definitely an upgrade. Sometime within the next month, we're speeding our uplink by 9 times, up and down. So everything's about to get, but that'll help with the police cams, uploading all their data. It'll help Clarissa and them moving video files across the county network.
I'm sure they all are sad about losing the radio system. It works so well.
Yeah. I have no excuse not to do nothing when it rings.
Just to add on to that, ANS is currently working on quotes for fiber from our building to Hoover Ridge. I've had them look at that a couple different directions for future growth, future infrastructure that may happen on Hoover Ridge, whether it does or it doesn't. We run this now and run it in the right places, it'll make things a lot easier when that time comes.
Questions for Livingston? Thank you. Mr. Bowman? Skyline Committee, Blue Ridge Committee cranked back up yet?
But we've been just 3 meetings now in a year and a half. I'm really glad to see things get back to normal. Jim Ballard and I spoke with the Superintendent Pat Kennedy a couple of weeks ago, and The question we had is if you thought the Blue Ridge Committee was still relevant. They said, yeah, they're really excited about getting things cranked up again. So at the end of July, we had a reorganizational meeting up at New Meadows. I'm sorry that Jim and I didn't make it when Pat Kenny was here to speak to the board, but we were not aware he was here.
We noticed you weren't.
I really missed it.
Yeah, I mean, you did.
But yeah, we'll let you know after the reorganizational meeting, just how things stand, whether all counties are participating. And then we'll be on our October, May schedule. And I assume Cardi will still be the representative from the Supervisors.
He was here, correct?
Good. I hope you took notes.
So Bruce, the meeting in July is not for the full
Yes,
board?
it is. Yes, you will get an invitation.
Okay, to that one, all right.
That's correct. I think it's July the 29th.
All right.
Very good. He seemed like he was just another successor. He seemed like another successor that is just another quality park superintendent. I mean, the last two, I'm trying to remember what was Miss Flynn. And then prior to her, what was that man's
You
name?
had Martha Bogan.
Both of them were just
I'm
outstanding.
thinking this is the last stop before you go to DC and do
Yeah, well, he seemed like he was very qualified,
it.
thinking about the community.
It's gonna happen to you too, Clay.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
So if that meeting's gonna be at Big Meadows, Bruce, they're gonna open the chain so we can go up through Quaker Run?
You'll have to talk to Bernie Hoke about it.
Anybody got any questions for Bruce? Good as hell. Hey, I assume you've switched with somebody else. You're here this week for the
No,
planning commission.
Planning Commission.
Yes, ma'am.
We're just busy looking at some of our ordinances to see if they apply the way they were intended to be when they were written, and sometimes we're going to be making some suggestions for some modifications or amendments, and I think we have a few more. Our situation with land ownership and whatever in this county has changed a lot over the last 40, 50 years. When some of these ordinances are put in place, we need to be looking at those. Plus, we haven't had the solar farm application yet. I'm calling it solar farm, it's actually a large scale solar facility. And we'll be facing that, and then we've had a few big chunks of land that have been sold recently that I hear rumors about. So a lot going on, and I hope Madison County citizens, we have the hearings on some of these, if they come out and let us know what they really think. Our comprehensive plan says something, and if that's what we want to maintain in this county, we need to be thinking a little bit differently, and I'm serious about that. So I'm hoping that we have input, and that we'll be facing it.
There you go. Questions for Faye? Thank you, Faye. Steve, how's the volunteers doing?
Very good. As far as I know, I mean, we have a great relationship with NOAA. Everything seems to be going smooth. We took delivery of a new ambulance. Was hoping to get it on. Everything's done except getting the title done, and we couldn't do it across the street. And the closest and nearest appointment we could get was this coming Friday in Manassas. It's 6:30 p.m. So we'll get it titled and expect it to be in service.
Right.
We're still getting a few new applicants, and so.
We have a question for Steve. All right, Mr. Fry, it's not on here, but have we gotten a whole lot of applicants for the FAP, the CPMT, and whatever else that everyone wants to do?
Not even a nibble.
All right. Old business. Mr. Gregan with us this evening. Mr. Hobbs, you gonna talk about the disposition of surplus proceeds?
Yes, the idea was that he was going to procedure and potential county policy on what it is to sell return proceeds.
This, I apologize. I should have thrown it in there. And also Miss Clarissa. This is all pertaining to the one lady that Ms. Lau referenced. Don't want to push this off and wait till Mr. Gregg can be here and Ms. Lau can give us a report on this one. I certainly would have heard about things. Do y'all mind if I go back and hit Clarissa since she's on here? Clarissa, everything going pretty well over there in your office? I got questions for Clarissa. Thank you, Clarissa. All right, Mr. Webb in here, Mr. Hobbs, event regulation ordinance.
Yes, this is laid over for comments. I understand Mr. Webb didn't get any significant comments on this report. Hearing on this soon. I did have two suggestions that the board might consider. One is this business company authorizing fireworks events. You might be aware that the county does not have an ordinance that articulates that requirement that folks notify the county of these fireworks. That's the board position of doing something when there's no ordinance. Want to continue to have the notice. My suggestion is that we should lead that into this event. Establish the other item is the gradations of types of events. One does not require a permit. The other is if it's up to 500 people, it's another if it's over 500 people, just for food for we're going to do these events and these event plans, or is that a matter of what we're after is making sure that public safety folks move these things on. Just delegate that to staff. This is in the thing of it meets all the rules. So it's more ministerial function and discretionary.
I think both fireworks and these should be under county administrator. Once all the boxes are checked off, signed, I don't see any reason for this. Anybody see any difference? I mean, the whole idea, John and Ed, the whole group brought this up and Ligon worked on it, was for public safety. Not to be a pain in the neck to the business or whoever's holding the events. It was just to make sure people would be safe. Having to go in front of us or having to wait 2 weeks or anything, it should just be an administrative deal.
Yeah, I got one thing, Mr. Chairman. Is Eric on? The sheriff on? Okay. Okay. So I wanted to ask John or Brian Gordon and Noah. So what sort of lead time do you guys need to be prepared for an event that's got 1,000 people? You need more than 30 days. This thing's got 30 days in there. If you can have an event with more than 30 people, I think your application could come in earlier than 30 days, but I wanted to find out what y'all need.
My thought is if it's under 500, we're not gonna have to whether the documents written, we're not gonna have to deal with this if it's under 500 folks.
Right.
Over 500, I think we start getting into pre-planning and things of that nature, which is why we went with 30 days.
30 days is sufficient?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, Noah's gonna have, staffing issues, so, you know, he wants to tell his employees as far out ahead of time, hey, we're gonna need you to work, 2 or 3 weeks from now, so they can plan their schedules too, which is a good, obviously, take care of your employees too. The other thing that we have is, called incident action plans and stuff like that, and the more time that we have to look at something and basically brainstorm and stuff as far as, you know, different events that we require, just more planning, landing zone if we need it, stuff like that. So it just takes time to get all that stuff. 30 days is sufficient.
Okay.
And the fact,
Yeah.
the fact is we can have a lot more than that at 2 different locations combined could easily be more than 1,000. So, and a lot of times these things will require a VDOT permit, which I would have, they need that 2 months in advance, so you have plenty of advance notice for that.
I wasn't here for the last board meeting. I don't know what discussion took place, but just, you know, and I'm sure you made it clear that, you know, we're not out to, you know, this is your bureaucracy, none of that. All we really want to do is, if there's an event that's gonna, has the ability to impact public safety on one end of the county versus another, we want to know about it so we can adjust for it. That's really the only thing that we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and so, Ms. Fry, we have not gotten a response from Mr. Graves or Scott Elliott or any, no input?
No, the Graves have made some comments, but the whole idea is that it's for public safety. We're not trying to take over the event or anything of that nature. We work with some of the people that are holding these events to make them best for the community.
Yeah, I talked to Scott Elliott at Ducard. I stopped by there the other day just to talk to him, not to drink.
I'm sure, yeah.
And he was fine with it, and I'd like to hear from Jimmy Graves. Okay.
The other one, the sheriff talked to him just before the meeting, and he said he was all on board. John and Joe come up with it. I do think that we should add some of these 2 items back in there, that fireworks side, and then the making it just an administrative approval instead of coming in front of us. Do you want to revise, or I assume we have a good public hearing on this? So I would think that we would do a revision, bring it back to us one more time, then we knock it out.
Yeah, if we're gonna read fireworks through, I think we'd have a discussion about what that needs to look like and how we want to approach that.
Would y'all rather proceed with what we've got to get something on the books and then modify, or would you want to start from?
Do it one wrong.
There you go. So y'all can get together again, see if you can figure something out, come back with a proposal, and then go at it again.
We'll take the fireworks ordinance, or the fireworks permission slip, for lack of a better term
That's the
now,
one.
and take a look at it and then see how we can interweave that. Eligible.
That work for everybody up here? I think hitting in one shot is the right thing. All right, thanks, gentlemen. All right, drug court MOU with Orange County. I have talked to Mr. Gregg. He says this looks okay. If they have questions, comments, thoughts, what do y'all want to do? Mr. Hobbs?
I probably have enough to sign this. Questions? Otherwise,
Don't want to do it. Yeah, we need a motion to approve this, since it is an issue with Orange County.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the MOU with Orange County on the drug court.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There you go. Any other old business? New business? We've already done the state of emergency. Ms. Hobbs, FY21 supplemental appropriation.
as long as you want it to take, but we've been through the books, we've been through the minutes. I have a lot of help from Stephanie Gray and Dr. Mayor on all of this. And report. These are items that board's already passed on or have a separate list of maybe more key things for you. Try to walk through them. One,
It's the supplemental appropriations with the sheet that has, I don't know, what looks tan to me. It starts with the animal shelter, cat tree, and cat condo. Yes, we've approved everything on this list already.
everything down to number 62. That involves, apparently we overrun the contingency. All that.
Anybody have any questions on this list? I really do think you got animal shelter painting, you got animal shelter, animal medical, fencing out of the animal shelter. You got financial software project management that we know about, the fire department floor cleaning that we do know about. You're getting a better number, 2,100. Hey.
That's what he charged us 2 years ago. I asked him 2,500 be a safe number, and he said yes.
All right.
I anticipated being really close to 21.
Right. Maybe that's about. The EMS extended warranty and the site selection study. Y'all want to go ahead and do something with these?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve supplemental appropriations 2021 through 62. I guess is what this is.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I voted, you understand objectives to your work on these. A lot of help. They're gonna throw me under the bus here. I'm sure they will. Going to the next set here, in the green is things that are, generally we need to do to close out the year for department of the board. There's the usual end of the year EMS supplement. There's the school bus. That was a good, at $60,000 to that. Reimbursed. Either true up or one of that. There's the big one, that's the school fund budget true up. So that's money out. We do need to pay the rescue squad for its fees generated. It's been MOU, and so it looks like they're coming in order of about $1,000 a month. To figure out exactly what that number is once the approval is done. Many months ago, the county agreed to help the county with the sidewalk project, and the move here is to make use of what monies that used to be in my enterprise. So this is where this number came from. But we go ahead and attribute that. Hope to have some official request from our office, but specific budget. So, Treasurer would like a little money to cover the postage. These cost a lot of money. Very hard to calculate exactly what it is. So, the courthouse budget is $31,000 and work what to be. It was Friday, so she needs more cash for technology. Looks good there. gets, but you can spend the money, so it's recognized in this one. If you go forward, there are a few things that would need to be approved in fiscal year 22, but I stopped my work as of this year's budget to try to stop. Down below, we have a few more questions about some things that we've broken down. Different things we discovered, so I just kept going with those. What we focus on right now is
2021-63 to 2021-72. Right. Do you have any questions on these? Go into it.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve supplemental appropriations 2021-63 through 2021-72 as presented.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Mr. Hobbs, like you just said, on the last page, you've got some stuff that needs to be done in 2022's budget, and then there's some other items that are already cleared, so worth knowing. Talk to us about CARES, Mr. Hobbs.
But having down as CARES, it's actually a little bit more than that, but you're aware that a lot of COVID related funding ran through the county's books this year. We had to keep all that and make all these reports. The big part of money is the CARES Act spending, and it's maybe one of your package, but the requirement there is the county is supposed to report on that funding on a quarterly basis. So as of March, we had about $8,000 outstanding in contracts to so we cleaned up all but one of the contracts, and if we write through checks, June 30 will be able to report that all the CARES Act money has been properly spent with the so the detail on that is we need an extension of the so we said lease that folks $5,000. Then we approached it with an extension of the contract. $250. There's no vote required, all this has been approved. I'm just saying that that's a watershed moment that they would save for keeping on. Moving on, there are other funds that are now available. There's this ARPA grant that's out there. I got in a conference last week phoned up on this. And sure as the world keeps changing and moving. And the takeaway from that is that the county has about 4 years to there are a series of specific things that can be spent on. Early on, we hope to earmark money for the EMS station, but that may or may not qualify. Do qualify very clearly for broadband and sewer plants. So those are things that can be sorted out at some point. I suggest that you hold off on that, because right now what everybody's operating under is what the Treasury Department calls interim final rule. So now the Congress passes funding, and the Treasury Department sets these rules up on how things are actually going to work. Really an oxymoron called interim final rule. We're going to collect comments up to June 16, and supposedly they'll have it. Like it is for now, so there's more work to be done on that. Last I heard, Ms. Murray and Ms. Thacker were working on trying to actually draw the first half of that money access to it. And, board will need to find the best use of that money. So, there's no money coming, it's just, that world is, no action required, it's just a report on.
Broadband from there. Best guess, and it's early, better, probably August, correct me wrong if I'm wrong, Tracy, but their best guess from Firefly and Madison county contribution, from which this is a typical source a lot of people are using, is somewhere in the 1 to 2 million. So think about that as we find out what we've got coming. Good place to spend.
Hopefully they make it more specific than $1 million variance. All right, questions for Mr. Hobb on the ARP funding?
So the way I understand it, Jack, is that the first draw, you can't get another draw until calendar 22. Is that right? First 2 draws. Okay. So it'll be next year.
All right, questions on any of this? What about the year-end fund balance allocations?
Yes, and, on, 84 of your package is on that. Tried to track, what was in the fiscal year 20 audit and make adjustments from there. Draw your attention to the 6th line down, talks about unspent bond proceeds. This is the kind of thing the auditors are doing. This is really, if these bond monies were borrowed for specific purposes, and it was restricted. You can't spend that. Adjustments on different points, but going forward, suggestion that we ought to maintain the $1,000 just in case I am during that period. We do have a fairly heavy balance appropriation. That's a polite way to say it. We have a deficit budget next year. Suggesting that you push the reassessment fund up, which puts us in a fairly good position. This unassigned fund balance, so we're in good shape there. I think. So those are the idea is that if you approve this, then this will generally be reflected in this audit. So what the arbiter will make us do with bond funds and some of these topic funds and so forth, earmarking money for capital projects, debt stabilization, reassessment funds, or construction. I'm likely saying that's what this is just budgeting.
Y'all think of this?
This needs to be done prior to year end, this fiscal year end.
There was some conversation early on about money and this and that. That exercise, I understand, is to support operation.
Mm-hmm.
There's no questions. Service or product.
wanting to do.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the fund balance allocations as presented.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
That should be the end
Okay, done pretty well. Anything else, Mr. Hobbs, for new business? Anybody else? All right, any information and correspondence? All right, public comment. Public comment. Livingston, are they jumping in there? A lot of people.
No, not yet. It's still time.
So yeah, I think that this is a good way to do it, but in the same sense, we're not getting a whole lot of interaction out of this. Oh, yes, ma'am. Mr. Hobbs? We truly appreciate you being with us for 3 years, 2017 to 2021. We got a list from Mr. Hobbs earlier today of all the things that we've accomplished and been working on. It truly is impressive. Mr. Hobbs, here's the clock.
Thank you.
We appreciate it a whole lot.
Very good.
Thank you. We're sure you can tell whose hands actually go.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, there's no public comment. We do need to go into closed session. We'll probably have something afterwards, so work on. Please, Ms. Walton.
I move that the board convene in a closed session pursuant to section 2.2-37A1 of the Code of Discussion, consideration, and/or interviews of prospective candidates for employment.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Aye.